back to the channel. Today we are testing out the Hydrus cordless pool vacuum on a Bestway pool, basically a Costco pool. Spoiler alert, I've already tried this out and I'm not really happy with it, so we're going to at least see how this works before I get something different, and I'll show you what I get different and how that works. So basically this is the Hydrus 2. It's about $179 on Amazon. I think it might have been on sale, but it was a cheap one, so I figured I got an above ground pool, why not get something cheap? So the basics of this is there's a power button on the bottom down there, along with the two-prong power port to charge it. I'd say it takes about 2-3 hours to charge it, not too bad, and it's supposed to run about an hour and a half. You'll see why I'm not too pleased with it. So it doesn't have drive motors, it just has wheels that spin on the bottom, and it uses a motor here on the top to push water out of either side depending on what direction it needs to go in. This whole thing lifts off for the filters inside, and I'll go ahead and take this off. I've run this about 4 times in the pool, but we'll see if it actually grabbed anything. So it's got some fine sand in here, as you see from right here. Got a bunch of fine sand. Oh, it's got a little bit of stuff in there. It actually did capture some stuff. So it just slides back on here. It doesn't clip in or anything. And then the top section fits right back down into the channel right there. And then snap, snap. So once you have it all sealed up and charged up, as you'll know when it's charged because the brick has a little light right here in the corner. It'll be red when it's charging and green when it's done. So basically all you have to do is push this button down here and really drop it in the pool, and it will do random passes to clean the bottom of silt, dirt, leaves, pine needles. I got a lot of pine needles here. But if your pool's not perfect, you're about to see the problem with this. So we're going to turn this on. And really all you gotta do is drop it in like that and it'll sink. And it's using its forward thrust right now to go forward. And now it's backward thrust to go backward. Alright, you'll see, there it is, sitting at the bottom of the pool. But it's not going anywhere. Meaning, if you have a above ground pool, this might not work well for you, because I'm pretty sure 75% of people that install an above ground pool, the ground's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be completely flat with a nice, probably not sand base, but something super smooth. So if this thing hits any bumps, the tiniest of wrinkles in the bottom of the pool, it's not going to work. It just sits there. It'll just run its entire battery sitting right there in that very spot, unless you come out with a poker and move it, which we'll do right now. So we can give it a little help, get it back on its way, and there it goes again. So as you see here, I had to get it help over that one little wrinkle, and away it goes. Oh, but it went right back over that wrinkle, and now it's stuck again. Because it doesn't have its own drive motors, it gets stuck on everything down there. So this would work for you, nice $179 device, if your pool bottom was completely perfect and smooth. I mean perfect. Because it doesn't have its own drive wheels, it can't navigate over any kind of bump. As you see, it's really good at cleaning that one little spot, kind of right between bumps. Maybe it detects a bump and it thinks it's at the wall, so it's just going back and forth. And there it goes over to that side of the pool. I have a lot of wrinkles on the far end of my pool, and usually once it gets down there, it gets kind of trapped in the walls of those wrinkles. So I'd compare it to one of those really cheap in-house smart home vacuums. I put smart in quotes, that it just bounces randomly hoping to clean. It's not going to get the sidewalls at all. It's just going to bounce randomly on the bottom. And it does pick up stuff. It picks up stuff great off the bottom. I see stuff disappearing as it goes under it, but those bumps will get you, and you'll have to help it, see? There might be a slight divot right there, so it stopped right in the middle, and now it's having trouble getting over whatever that little divot is. Alright, so it's done its thing. It's drove around the pool,
Kind of looks the same, but we'll pull it out and we'll see. It does do a nice job at always parking by an edge when it's finished. So let's see what it on a pole, and then grab it, and then slowly let the water out. All right, as we can see, it did get a good bit right here. Good bit of gunk off the bottom. This is kind of filled. It might be beeping because it's either low battery or it is full. Not really sure which. Got a good amount of mud off the bottom too. I mean, so it does a good job if it doesn't get stuck. That's the problem. If it gets stuck, it's done. Because I think or if it clogs, like this filter gets clogged, it doesn't have any thrust left to push it forward and back again. So those are things to keep in mind if you're thinking of getting this one. And then this just slides back into these channels right here. So the question would be, do I recommend this? I would say only if you have a very, very smooth bottom pool. No wrinkles, no random, dirt chunks under there, because it will get stuck. It does not have drive motors. But if you have a relatively small pool, like a 600 gallon, 1,000 gallon, this would be fine. Especially for $180, it would be fine. But next we're going to try the Dolphin and see how that works. I wouldn't say it's even around the same price. It's the budget Dolphin, which I think is about $800 compared to this $180, and it's a plug-in versus the battery. So let's see what that does, shall we? So since this one is a plug-in versus a battery, it has a controller box here where you can turn it on and off, and then there's 3 different mode settings where basically it's like this runs like every other day versus continuously versus a half cycle versus a time cycle. I just leave it on the first one and turn it on when I want it to clean. And it has a pretty long power connection that goes all the way out into the pool there. So compared to the other one, this is night and day difference. Definitely a lot more power on this one. I'm going to pull it out in a second and see what the basket looks like. It's probably run about 4 or 5 cycles in the past 20 hours, 16 hours or so. So we're going to see what it actually cleaned up, which it got the dust that was over there, the dirt that was in the corner. It's been doing a good job, but we'll see what the actual results are. And as you can see, it does clean the edges. But since this is a above ground pool and the sides aren't exactly flat, it can't get super flat on the sides, but it does climb up each edge and clean it. So this is the Dolphin Nautilus CC. There's a CC Plus. This is the CC. This is probably the lowest tier of the Dolphin Nautilus series, and it does a fantastic job. I mean, the other one that we got, that was what, $179. This is about $800. So it's a bit more costly, but it's powered. It has a little float ball that can be adjusted to keep the thing up. It has a basket instead of a cartridge. So let's see. Wow. It got, can you even see this? Yeah, it got a lot. There's a lot of sand and dust and dirt, a lot of leaves, pine needles. It got all this. The other one did not get this amount. So, and that just pulls right up from the center. Other notable features it has this front rotating rubber bristle brush, plus these 2 tracks. The other one we are comparing this to just had wheels. It had like a water jet in that one to like push it back and forth, where this actually has tracks, so it got over all the bumps in that above ground pool. Every little wrinkle, because there's a ton of wrinkles in mine. So it got over all that mess without any issues. And yeah, as you can see on this filter, it worked really well. I'm definitely very happy with this purchase. I recommend this one for sure. Alright, and this is the filter all cleaned out. I just hosed it off. Hosed off all the outside, spraying in, and then hosed off the inside, and then let it dump all out. So this goes right back in there, and then this automatically closes, and then you can drop it back in. Water, of course, comes out the top. This is the handle for picking it up. As you can see, it has these rubber tracks here, so it moves along, you know, like a tank. Yeah, that works. That works really well. And then it has these brushes down here to where all the water gets sucked in right here and then filtered out. So definitely recommend this versus the battery powered ones. It's just more effective. So this was a review of the Hydrus cordless pool cleaner versus the Dolphin Nautilus CC. Definitely different leagues, different categories here. I would definitely recommend the Hydrus if you have a small pool and it's perfectly flat on the bottom, because it's only using water to propel it back and forward. The wheels are plastic, they're not motor driven, so it will get stuck on things. However, the Dolphin Nautilus CC does have tank treads with driven motors, so it will climb up the sides, it will clean the sides of the pool, it will get over every little bump, every little issue there, so that definitely helps a lot. And I know battery's the new thing, charging things and throwing them in wirelessly is great, but I don't know, for pools I recommend, and I prefer, honestly, that's my opinion, prefer plugging it in and just being able to throw it in the pool, hit go. Maybe you got somebody coming over, you want it extra clean, you just hit go again. You don't have to wait for it to recharge and then throw it back in. So I definitely prefer the corded version of it instead. It doesn't really get tangled up in anything. My Dolphin got tangled up a few times in the ladder, like it got wrapped around, then it got confused, and then it just stopped. So I like lean the ladder out of the pool when it's doing its full cycle, but that's not really a big deal. I'd rather do that than just get stuck on a wrinkle in the bottom of the material and then just totally give up on everything. So depending on what you're looking for, the Hydrus is $180, the Dolphin is $800, so you definitely get what you pay for with these. If you want it to really deep clean well and not have to worry about it, I definitely recommend the Dolphin. Proven brand. A lot of people have Dolphins. It's like the most popular, apparently. I'm just getting into pool tech, so I have another review coming up after this, maybe on Wednesday, maybe next week, for a automatic pH water level tester. It drops into the skimmer basket, which I just installed, and it'll give you wireless readouts on the temperature, pH level, chlorine level, stuff like that. So we'll check that out next time. Never thought I'd be doing pool tech, but what can you expect with the Sometimes builds? Sometimes we're working on a four-wheeler, sometimes we're working on a Subaru, and then here we are working on a pool. What's next? Probably back to Uncle Charlie's cabin. We'll see. We'll see what he has in store. So, if you like this kind of content, definitely consider subscribing below. We're all over the place on this channel. If you like this video, drop a thumbs up. If you have any questions, particularly with this one or the other one, or you want to see something, let me know. I'll try to answer that best. I won't be able to answer too many questions on the Hydrus because I am sending it back to Amazon. It was a nice trial for $179, but not keeping it, so that's going back. Definitely keeping the Dolphin. So, see you next time. Bye.